Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan with another quick trailer review. Today I'm going to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer, the Michael Bay produced new Ninja Turtles film coming out this summer. The trailer is a minute and a half long, it's a teaser trailer, and it kind of at least makes the movie appear to be what a lot of fans have been saying they're afraid it's going to be, which is the Michael Bay Transformers treatment for Ninja Turtles. Michael Bay is just producing it, he's not directing it, but considering we've got Jonathan Liebesman, the guy who did Wrath of the Titans and Battlefield Los Angeles and stuff like that, it's reasonable to assume that we're going to get kind of the disaster movie, big giant action spectacle kind of thing for Ninja Turtles. And that is certainly what the trailer was kind of making it out to look like. And I would argue it's one of those things where they're trying to get the mass audience to go to the movie, and so I don't want to immediately jump on the bandwagon of, oh no, look, it's our greatest fears realized. It's going to be just 2 hours of pure carnage of the city being destroyed and the Ninja Turtles kind of looming in the background while the whole thing is about a kind of human plot that nobody really cares about, where we've basically just taken Megan Fox and instead of casting her as the love interest this time, we've basically cast her actually in the Sam Witwicky role. Hopefully at least she and the Ninja Turtles won't meet by way of eBay auction, but that's what the trailer sort of kind of makes it look like. But it's a minute and a half, and as I always say, trailers do not exist to tell us what the film is going to be. They exist to try to make us go see the film. The first couple movies, of course, did really well compared to their budgets, but they've never been big, giant blockbuster things. We've never had this kind of treatment with Ninja Turtles, and they've plugged a lot of money into this thing. Whether or not you like the idea of a giant, big-budget Ninja Turtles treatment, personally, I don't. I prefer the gritty, urban, street-level kind of thing. I think doing Ninja Turtles with as little money as possible is going to make it look the best, unless you were going to do like Krang and Dimension X, in which case you would need that kind of budget behind it. They're trying to make sure that everybody that doesn't care about Ninja Turtles immediately will just go to shove popcorn in their faces. That the people who immediately are drawn into the big giant disaster movie spectacle thing, keep in mind that every Transformers movie has performed phenomenally. They're trying to bring that crowd in. The question I have, having seen this trailer, is just how much of that movie is it going to be? Certainly, we have to expect that it's going to be more of that than any of the other Ninja Turtles movies have ever been. Certainly, given, the director that they have and the fact that it's produced by Michael Bay, we have to expect a certain amount of that. But it's interesting that you have those kind of like big bass sound effects of something giant fell over and then we did a throom and that kind of stuff. But then if you look at what you're actually seeing, it is not anything like as grand as what the soundtrack and the overall mood of the trailer is trying to make you think it is, right? Like very early on, you see something that is reminiscent of the big kind of disaster movie spectacle thing. What you're actually looking at is just a big antenna falling down on top of some buildings, and then like the big giant slow-mo thing that you see is one of the Ninja Turtles, I couldn't really tell which, watching it, slamming into a Jeep. I don't know if the thing is really going to be that on that grand of a scale compared to something like Transformers. Now, having said that, I was really surprised by the sheer enormous size of the Turtles. At the end of the trailer, we do get to see Michelangelo, and he is towering over April. He looks like he's probably 8 or 9 feet tall. He's massive, and there is immediately, I couldn't help but think, oh no, is this going to be like Transformers, where you have these big looming kind of monstrous figures that are the reason we came to see the movie, but they're mostly just in the background, and so they interact with our human characters a little bit, but they're pretty much just set dressing, and so, you know, we watch them fight and stuff, but we don't really do anything with them all that interesting character-wise, because we're not really focused on them. We're focused on on human characters that may or may not be interesting in their own right. I really hope that's not what they're doing. I am seeing a lot of people saying, having seen the trailer, saying, oh, thank God they've at least still got their sense of humor. Yeah, and that's good, and Michelangelo, with what little we get of him at the end, it certainly seems characterized, traditional, you know, I can't believe you can say that now in Ninja Turtles, but, you know, the traditional way that you do Michelangelo. Yeah, okay, fine, but the Transformers had that too, right? Like, they still all had their kind of fun, jokey, jovial personalities, and that kind of and that was kind of the way that those movies were homaging what came before, but ultimately it wasn't about that. So just because you've got Michelangelo joking and they sound like surfer dudes doesn't immediately mean that the movie has any idea what it's doing with this property. But at the same time, just because the tone of the thing, of the trailer that we saw feels a little bit Transformers, doesn't mean that that's all it's going to be either. So I don't think you can really, I don't feel like I can take a lot from this, except now I know what the Turtles look like, and I'm not in love with the design, but if the movie's good, I don't care about that. I have to remind myself that, that I wasn't sure about the new cartoon show either, and I still don't love the designs for that, but the character designs, but I watched a couple episodes and actually enjoyed myself and laughed at it and had a good time. So you know, the look of the thing is not paramount for me. But I also thought that there was a lot of kind of trying to throw fans bones in this trailer. It's like, hey, look, TCRI, you know, don't worry, we're doing it right. They came from Ooze, they're not aliens. They give us a shot of April wearing a yellow coat, that sort of thing. So I feel like for the most part the trailer is trying to get your mainstream audience to go see this movie, and then they're trying to sort of kind of appease the Ninja Turtles fans at the same time. It feels a lot like the way J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies were advertised. You've still got Kevin Eastman swearing by the script. As far as I know, he still says that the script is great. Hey, fans, don't worry. And I'm more hopeful about it, I guess, because of that. As far as what they're doing with the Shredder and the new origin and stuff, I can't immediately be a purist with Ninja Turtles and be like, oh no, that's not the way it's supposed to be, because my new favorite version of the Turtles, the IDW comics, is doing a lot of stuff very differently while still being true to, frankly, all kinds of different versions of Ninja Turtles. They're borrowing from all kinds of stuff, but like, you know, that series has managed, in my opinion, to make reincarnating humans from feudal Japan into Ninja Turtles actually work, and it's now kind of my definitive version of Ninja Turtles. So I can't immediately get annoyed that, oh no, they're doing it differently. Shredder is not Japanese, and he actually helps create the Turtles in the first place in attempting to create heroes, he says in the trailer. That could be an interesting idea. It also could end up just being really formulaic, obvious superhero stuff. How many times have we seen that trope of the villain who creates the hero? I've talked about that a lot in Rewind, and that can be used to great effect. That is a mine you can go back and draw from again. But it also could just kind of come off as hammy and formulaic, and we didn't really have any good ideas. We just wanted to make this movie we thought we could get a bunch of people to go to and take their money from them. So hopefully it isn't that. But the idea of the Shredder creating the Ninja Turtles is not immediately angering to me. I think that could be really interesting. As far as the fact that he's not Japanese, what I kind of wonder, and he's not called Rokusaki either, so I mean, like, it's not like we've got an American guy playing a Japanese person and we just didn't cast him right. This is a completely different character who becomes the Shredder. Obviously, lots of questions arise out of that, and I guess I'll do a little bit of speculation here before I close. You've got immediately in my brain, I start asking questions like, okay, he's not Japanese, he's not a Rokusaki, how does he come up with the suit? Why is he wearing this giant samurai-looking suit? If he wanted to create heroes, what is it that turns him into a villain, or was that some kind of duplicitous scheme where he wasn't really creating heroes, he actually wanted to create something to decimate the city, or whatever his plan actually is, you know, where he manages to get his hands on the technology to create the U's because he has this he has this premise of, I'm going to solve all the crime problems in this city with this, and he's able to use that as a front to actually take over or something. Whatever his plan is, whatever they're doing with that. Again, I don't mind it. I'm just kind of wondering how the ninja stuff even fits in. He created the Ninja Turtles. Where does Splinter come from? We know Splinter's in the movie. They've already started making Lego figures and action figures and stuff. Where does he fit in? So, yeah, obviously I have a whole lot of questions. Megan Fox has never really done it for me as an actress. I really hope we see her step up her game here. There's a couple of shots of her in this trailer that still make her look a little bit deer in the headlights. Not a lot going on behind her eyes. That doesn't necessarily mean that the performance is bad, because I don't know the context of the scene, and that's kind of a default look for her. I don't know. So I mean, I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're like, well, Captain Logan, you just talked, you just for several minutes, like you always do, said, I'm gonna wait and see. I have a really mixed reactions to this, and I don't want to immediately just go, oh no, this is going to be horrible. At the same time, it doesn't, I mean, like, I'll make no bones about it, it certainly doesn't look like what I would want in a Ninja Turtles movie, and I really don't like the Turtles designs. I don't know why they have to be so grotesque and monsterish, unless something is done with that idea in the story, where, you know, the whole idea of, you know, the hero versus the monster. Maybe you claim to create them to be heroes, but you actually created monsters, and now they have to figure out how to fight that nature or something. I just wonder about the practicality of how enormous they are. Like, are they still gonna live in the sewer? How would they fit through manhole covers? You remember the 80s cartoon, at the tail end of it, they did the story arc where the turtles were mutating. And imagine if these turtles mutated beyond this. Like, they look almost like those really hefty mutated versions of the turtles, except they're not spiky or anything. Like, if they mutated, they would turn into, like the size of Transformers, but at least they're not the size of Transformers. I was kind of, for a minute when I saw how big they were, I was like, oh no, and then I saw Michelangelo in relation to April. I'm like, well, at least he's not that big. But I also, I think that it could be. It could be interesting having them larger like this. I hope something smart is done with that, because it does make a little bit more sense that they would have such a difficult time fitting into society that way. I mean, certainly giant walking, talking turtles already are gonna have difficulty, right? But if they looked like that, it would be a lot harder. And I buy April fainting at the sight of that more than I ever did when she's fainted in other things. But then also, and I guess I should have said this earlier, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I don't like what they look like in CG. I mean, I said I don't like the character designs, but he doesn't look any more realistic to me than the guys in suits from the 1990 movie. And in fact, just from what little we've seen of it so far, kind of looks less realistic to me. And I don't know. I don't know that was the smartest way to go with it. We still have this kind of mindset these days, especially with action movies, that CGI makes everything better somehow magically, and I think it's really interesting and really telling that animatronic suits look more like they're actually there in frame than this really expensive CGI. So I don't know. In some ways, my first reaction is to go, no, that's not how you make Ninja Turtle. No, but it could still turn out at least kind of interesting. One thing I do really like about this is that because it's a reimagining, I have no idea what they're doing. So I'm at least going to get to go in and be surprised. And also, even though, yeah, this is a huge blockbuster, it's probably going to make a lot of money, it's weird that it's coming out the exact same year as a Transformers movie, though, and I wonder if that's going to hurt it. But the fact that it's that it's another big, giant, huge spectacle kind of movie. It's made by the Transformers people. Probably a lot of people are going to see it. It could end up kind of supplanting other things as like the mainstream Turtles thing for now, and I don't like that if it's bad. Having said that, as I always say, it doesn't take away from anything we've had before, anything I love, and also right now we have two other pretty solid Ninja Turtles things going at the same time. So it's a good time to be a Turtles fan. I'll say that. So I don't know. I am more interested to see it than I was before, having seen the trailer, but still certainly have my reservations. What do you folks think in the comments? Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the new trailer, and are you appalled? Are you more interested? Do you think it's got a chance at being decent now that you've seen the trailer? Please leave your comments. I'd love to know what you think, and I will see you again very shortly with lots more videos. I'm Captain Logan. Thanks as always for watching.